Hello everyone, it's Nadie, and welcome to my Makeup and Conspiracies Theories series. As you beautiful people know, any tiff you may have, please cast it away because this is a channel of positive energy, okay? Thank you. Oh my little moon rocks, how you doing today? I hope wherever you're at in the world you're having a marvelous day so far. I am really excited to be starting this series. Hopefully it'll turn into something. Also make sure to stick around to the end of the video and I'll list off all the products that I used, or at least the products that I can say that I used. But I don't know about you, I personally find conspiracies to be so damn fascinating. Like, I could be completely wrong, but I kind of feel as though conspiracies are kind of a universal interest. Whether you're super into them or not, everybody knows of at least one conspiracy theory. I personally have family and friends that get so damn engulfed in them that with every fiber of their being, they believe these conspiracies. Which honestly is kind of easy to do with quite a few of them. It just seems like everything falls into place too perfectly, and with internet being so global now, and pretty much anything being allowed on there, it's really only human nature that people get curious. They speculate about shit, people have time to wonder now about things that have happened in the world, and a lot of people are seeking information from sources that might be there to help them, but also they might just be there to fuck with you. So if I ever disappear, it's probably because I covered something and we got in too deep. Normally we do love it deep, but sometimes too deep is indeed too deep. Can I get an amen and a snap for that? But when it comes to landing on the moon for the first time, or even just in general versus it being in a film studio, there are so many damn conspiracy theories that I could probably create a channel just for them. Some of the theories have been debunked, but there are others that really do still stand strong and leave even the people that do believe the moon landing happened, it leaves them confused and wondering what the fuck is actually real. In future videos, I do kind of want to cover less publicized conspiracies, maybe ones that aren't quite so debunked and have so many different variations. I kind of want to make this into like a story time, but this is a good safe place to launch from. So let's begin. Picture it, Sicily, 1954. No, I'm just kidding. It was the US of A and it was 1969, baby. It was a very eventful and very interesting year, and not just because it had the number 69 in it, though that does help because that's a great number. No, but I remember it like it was yesterday. Civil rights and desegregation laws were finally taking effect. The average cost of a house in America was, get this, $15,550. Of course, the average income was like 9 grand, but still, I would kill for a good house for 15 G's, damn it. Gas was 35 cents a gallon. There was Woodstock, there was Abbey Road, Stonewall, Nixon, and members of a cult led by Charles Manson murdered 5 people. It was busy times, baby. But I think historically, 1969, at least in the US of A, will go down as the year that we landed on the moon, allegedly. And fun fact, little titty bit, 5% of people, which I feel like that is kind of a lowball number, so at least 5% of people do not believe that the moon landing even happened. And people fucking believe anything now, so that number really needs to be updated. And then another 6% of people at least are just straight up skeptical, like they don't know if it happened, maybe it did, maybe it didn't. That, my friends, is at least 11% of people that might not believe that Buzz Aldrin and Neil Armstrong's moon landing actually even happened. So picture you're at a big ass party. There's like 100 people there. That's a big party. Or if you're gay, that's an orgy. But I guess like 11 of those 100 people might not think that the moon landing happened. Like if you're schmoozing around, you're bound to get somebody who thinks that the moon landing was filmed in a studio. But also, what if they're right? I mean, despite the exceptional amount of evidence from moon rocks collected across several missions, documentations from Japan, Russia, China, as well as images from NASA themselves of the little footsteps that the astronauts have made in the moon dust over the years, no, that is not enough evidence. From the moment they took off into space, people have just been skeptical. And why, might you ask, would we fake a moon landing? Honestly, I think the biggest reason is probably to say that we were the first. I mean, don't get me wrong, I love being American, I love America, but that does sound like a very American thing to do, to try to be the first at something, especially if bragging rights come with it. But if they weren't in a studio, why was Buzz Aldrin so freaking well lit? Like, what the fuck? It's like Annie Leibovitz was there with them doing a Vogue spread, but they didn't have a photo team, so why is he clearly in the shadows but still so well lit? This can actually be explained, and it's not because they wanted to get litty or because they have glowing personalities, but a lot of people are convinced that the landing was staged simply because of the lighting. However, light isn't as simple as a lot of people think, and without knowing all of their surroundings, it's almost impossible to tell why he is so well lit. Almost impossible, but not completely impossible. What we do know is that when when you take photos, if you need extra light, you place whiteboards or light-colored boards around the lights or across from them so that the light can kind of bounce off of them, just wherever you need a little extra brightness but you don't have a powered light source. And then the light can kind of bounce off that and it just creates a faux light. A similar effect is when people tan and they have those aluminum things that reflects the sun so that their under chin gets tan. Well, the moon is literally a reflector. We see that shit in the night reflecting at us like a freshly bleached ass of a porn star. Oh, somebody texted. However, just the reflection of the moon's surface and the metal on the ship, that's really not enough light to like create a beam on Buzz Aldrin, because if you look at the picture, it literally looks like there's a fucking studio light shining on him. So where in the hell is this light source from? I'll tell you, bitch. There was actually footage that surfaced from the other side of Buzz. So you have Neil, who's taking the famous photo, Buzz, who's climbing up to the little spaceship, and apparently there was a whole nother camera on the other side of the ship that you don't see in the photo. But in this other picture, you see a huge bright light right where Neil is standing. And it turns out that his mirrored helmet and his white suit was reflecting the sun so fucking much that it was shining onto Buzz and it looked like a billboard light was on him. And those white suits that they're in, I think are made out of like Teflon or something similar to that. And so even though you can't actually see your reflection in it if you're standing by it, it's almost as equally reflective as a mirror. So as a photographer myself, I kind of admire that ingenuity. I don't know how much of that was planned, but it fucking worked and I thought it was creative. Okay, so that makes sense. That's fine. We get it. But if you notice in all of the photos, it really does look like a studio because you don't ever see any fucking stars. I don't mean stars like Joan Rivers with a microphone on Hollywood Boulevard. I mean stars in the sky. Like we are in space without an atmosphere, surrounded by nothing but stars, yet we don't see them. However, yet again, we have a funky monkey debunky. So why, might you ask, can't we see the stars? Same reason why here on Earth, unless we're in a simulation, during the day, you usually can't see the stars. Same reason why at night, when you're in the big city and there's lights everywhere, you can't see the stars. It's just too damn bright. Like it's basically the moon's version of daytime. So if the stars are too dim to show up with the brightness of the moon, shouldn't there at least be a sky? Well, fun little lesson here, because the moon's atmosphere is too thin to help push the air around and create that reflective blue hue that our skies have. It's just black. Like blue is the new black moon, honey. Get your shit together. But really, you can't blame people for being super confused, because we always see the stars in Hollywood movies, video games, live action. And that's because engineers have designed what's called global illumination. It's really only for visual effect. Like if you watch that really fucking stressful space movie with Sandra Bullock, you'll notice that she's in like daytime looking lighting, but there's still stars around her. And I guess that wouldn't happen in real life. In fact, if you were on the moon and it was like the daytime, in order to get the stars to actually show up, you'd have to turn the exposure up so much that everything would be blown out. You would not be able to see your subject, the moon, nothing. It would just be white. And then off in the distance, you might be able to see the stars. But then everything else is white. It would look like the inside of a celebrity's nose at a music festival. Maybe you could do like a long exposure photo. I don't fucking know if they have that option in space, but it always works good with my iPhone. But yeah, that's why it does look like a movie set engulfed in black. Okay, so we can't see the stars. That's fine. But why in the hell is the flag that they're implanting into the moon waving like it's in the wind? Like if there's no gravity, that doesn't really make sense. However, once again, this conspiracy is busted even harder than me on a pre-COVID Saturday night in the back alley of a Dallas club. And this was actually put to rest very quickly by NASA themselves, who said that there was a rod in the top of the flag to help it stay upright. Now, I am very familiar with rods and keeping them upright and how they work, but I've never had to deal with a space rod before. But allegedly, the rod was accidentally bent during transit, and that's kind of what mimicked the appearance of the movement. Because if you look, the fabric does appear as though it's waving, and an object in motion stays in motion unless it's a bed frame hitting the wall. But the flag was momentarily going back and forth until it wasn't. But the spacemen did admit that all the little wrinkles and waves that you see on the flag are from being stuffed in a spaceship for 4 days. I can't imagine they were allowed a steamer or an iron on board to give a little touch-up beforehand. So I guess to me, that's kind of an easier one to put to rest. But what isn't really as easy to brush aside, and to my knowledge hasn't really been explained, is what the fuck those random ass objects in the reflections of the helmets are. Like there are multiple pictures of some things that just don't look quite right. And it's not like a light glare for a second, it's not a flash, and it definitely is not a small sign that says objects in mirror may appear larger than they actually are. But is that a real thing though? I should just maybe? I'll do that later. And it's not like they appear just once. They appear several times. Like of all the times we wish people could have Instagrammed lived, that definitely would have been one of them, damn it. But people have made exact replications and simulations of the moon landing pretty much right down to where every rock was placed. And people are still having a really difficult time figuring out what those unknown things are. Were they aliens? Were they strippers? People thought they saw reflections of studio lights. They thought they saw reflections of people that weren't supposed to be there. But really, if you look kind of fucking closely, it does look like studio lights, like the candle lights with barn doors. I have no idea if it's been debunked or not. I'm not letting it swing either way, but really, if you think about it, it is kind of interesting, isn't it? Like, is it a smudge from the development of the film? It could be. But to have a little smoochy smudge show up so many different times, you gotta admit, that's kind of curious, and it's a very interesting shaped smudge. I also think that if it is the reflection of a studio lamp and NASA's trying to cover something, if they can fake sending people to the damn moon, they sure as shit could have caught that and edited it out. But also, it could just be a grease smudge from a cheeseburger that they ate on the way up there. I'm doubtful they stopped at an In-N-Out on their way to the moon, but you know what they say, their burgers are out of this world. Oh god, we're gonna try this glitter. Oh god. I'm trying to do a galaxy look because that only makes sense. Wow, that is super comfortable. But to me, that's one of the only bigger things that I found that's still an unknown. If you know the answer to that, please comment down below. Or even just let me know what you think it is, but I kind of think it does look like a studio lamp. Or at least something that just doesn't look like it belongs, which opens up a whole new can of fucking worms. Oh my goodness, that looks so cool. But one last thing that I've always kind of wondered is why, when the spacecraft landed, was there virtually no landing mark? Like, the top layer of the moon has a couple inches of moon dust and lunar jizz and everything that's fallen onto the moon from whatever the fuck is flying around in between the planets. And it's been collecting for literally billions and billions and billions of years. Like, okay, mom, you think that curio cabinet you haven't dusted for a week is dirty? Try cleaning the moon. So naturally, you'd think there'd be some kind of landing imprint on the moon, just like how you see the astronauts' footsteps. Where the motherfuck is my glue? I literally just had my glue. Where the hell did it go? Is this NASA trying to tell me a message? No, my clumsy ass just knocked it somewhere. But despite the fact that the ground is very, very soft underneath the ship, it's also very, very smooth. And when I picture something landing, I think of everything below it whipping around like hell. All the poor little moon babies flying around the fucking air like Dorothy. But no, the ground was smoother than a gay's waxed back on a Kesha cruise. But why is this? I mean, on Earth, it really doesn't make sense. But those flying little moon babies definitely are not in Kansas, and they're certainly not on Earth. And something that heavy here just isn't that heavy on the moon. In fact, shit on the moon is about a sixth of the weight as it is on Earth, which sign me the fuck up for that. Easiest diet ever, damn it. But even though the ship was still pretty heavy, each of the legs balanced the weight so evenly that I guess they had about as much impact as like a partially filled laundry basket. I mean, I kind of feel like there should have been a bigger impact, but that's just me. I don't know anything about physics or gravity or anything like that. So I suppose that's an acceptable explanation. Oh my god, I think I left unblended concealer on my chin for this whole fucking video. It's gonna be one of those things that everybody notices except me. So, did we really land on the moon? I'm pretty sure we can say with like 99% certainty that we and several others have set foot on the moon. But there's always gonna be that 1% that makes us think, what if? And honestly, those what ifs keep life very, very interesting. And what is life if it's not interesting? Anyways, here is my final look. I actually really fucking like this, except the glitter keeps getting in my eyes, and it's not the tiny little shards of glitter. It is big shards of glitter. Pretty sure I'm gonna need a cornea transplant after this. Ooh, hold on. I wanna see what this looks like with my phone. Can we see all the little glitter? Oh, that's pretty. So let's get you zoomed in a little bit. For anybody who'd like to recreate this look, I started off with the Laura Mercier Hydrating Primer. Then for foundation and concealer, I used the Dior Backstage and the Marc Jacobs Extra Shot. For powder, I used some Bare Minerals. For contour, I used my usual Catrice Sculpt Squad, fabulous and very affordable. And then to bronze this bitch up, a little bit of Benefits Hoola. Then as a base blush to give my skin a little bit of a moony glow, I used Honeysuckle by Laura Geller. Then on top of that, I dipped into the Moon Prism blush. And then for highlighter, one of my all-time favorite affordable highlighters, this is Be My Highlight by Essence. And on top of that, a little bit of Lemonhead Los Angeles in the shade Houdini. That's that shit right there. Oh my god, I love that. I feel like every drag queen owns at least one of these. Not that I'm a drag queen, but I think I am. And then for the eyes, just because this brand did kind of fit this video, I used another Lunar Boutete product. This is the Lunar Eclipse palette. Then I pulled a fabulous electric blue from something else. I cut my crease with this Lively Liquid Glitter Shadow. I have no idea who this is by, but it's got Korean writing on the bottom. Then I patted on some really huge ass chunks of glitter, which was just in a bag. It's not one of my products. I don't know where the hell I got it. The lashes I'm using for the first time, and I really like them. They're by Lunar Boutete, and these are in the style Luna. Then for lipstick, I have Wicked by Lunar Boutete, topped off with 99 Problems by Carity. On the waterline, I use ColourPop's gel liner in Prance, and then a little baby wing liner with Hank and Henry's Blickety Blue. And that is that. A very simple daytime, everyday grocery store kind of look. I'm gonna go pick up some watermelons in this. But that is all for this episode, my loves. Please let me know about conspiracies that you'd like me to talk about. I really enjoyed doing this. It was a way to kind of shoot the shit and and be creative and just chill with y'all. Thank you so much for being here. I love having you. And if you'd like to support me and my channel a little bit more, please feel free to join us over on Patreon. It's patreon.com/poplux. There you get videos a day early, you get Patreon only content, plus best part, it is cheap, fun, and fancy just like me. And like always, please be sure to subscribe and hit that notification bell down below so that you're notified anytime I upload a new video. Don't forget my newest collection of highlighters, including Black Ice, which does change from black to white, is available at thepoplux.com. Also, my latest album, Kiss of Fame, is available everywhere online that music is sold. Thank you so much to everyone who's supporting them. Comment down below, let me know what you thought of this video. Don't forget to like and subscribe. You can follow me on Snapchat, Instagram, and Twitter at officialnady, and you can follow me online at thepoplux.com. Thank you so much for watching. I love you all, and I will see you again soon. Bye!